So my name is Lisa Mauri-Thomas, and I am the Global Director of Sales Training and Enablement with Veriforce.
Today you mentioned how important it is in coaching for retention. Retain all the information you get, and you said you don't do quizzes, you ask for physical,
Yes.
right answers.
Yes.
What other ways do you get more retention from the people you coach and the people who do the training?
Anytime that somebody can articulate something back in their own words, you know they've learned it.
Right.
Whereas a quiz, they can look at the possible choices and pick one. And there's all kinds of science around you can pick the right answer without necessarily knowing the answer. But
Just
you
gaming
can't
the system.
do that when you have to articulate something back in your own words.
Right. Yeah, that's I remember in college, everyone was just learn how to take the test, not actually learn the information.
Chances are the answer is C.
I've heard that one. Can you describe a couple of your favorite ways that you use coaching to onboard new hires?
Absolutely. So I have them do a 30-second introduce themselves, right? It's really their first pitch, right?
Yeah.
They're the experts on themselves. They do their first pitch, 30 seconds, and then we share that around the organization. That way everybody gets to know the new hire, even knowing it's going to take that new hire longer to get to know everybody else. But they feel so much more welcomed because everybody knows who they are.
That's great. So transitioning from a sales role to an educational role, I hear can be very difficult. Do you have any advice for someone who's transitioning from maybe a sales background to a coaching background?
Yes. First off, you have to care about coaching. That goes a long way. There's a lot of sales, reps, there's a lot of sales managers and others that coaching is not part of their repertoire. So you have to care about it first and foremost. And you have to be willing to change up the lens, if you will, right? So many people who train, and this is a downside, so many people who train, they're looking at it from what's going to work best for them. They're looking for convenience for them. They're looking for canned content for them. They're looking to check a box.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you flip it around and you really embrace coaching, you truly make it about the learner. And you can gauge the learner got it. This goes back to my quote about just because you've trained doesn't mean they've learned.
That's true. That's great advice. What's the most notable change that you've seen in sales teams after implementing regular coaching practices?
What's interesting to me is that they seem more comfortable to do things on the fly.
Oh, that's good.
And they seem they're open to not only how they can present on the fly, but they're open to trying things out. They're a little more experimental. A lot of times, salespeople, they want to be the Lone Ranger when it comes to being top of the heap and making their sales. They don't want to be the Lone Ranger when it comes to doing things that are a little more experimental and their peers might laugh at them. There's a lot of peer pressure in sales.
Yeah. So I'm just getting this theme of confidence. They get more confidence
they're
with training.
Confident. They're able to wing it in the right ways. Right? Wing it in the right ways. Too oftentimes sales will wing something and it's really not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So
one thing that I found really interesting that you mentioned was eye contact, the importance of eye contact. I used to be terrible. I don't know. I still, looking at you right now before making eye contact, but it's tough for a lot of people. Do you have just something as simple as that? Do you have advice how someone could work in calls, in their daily work life, how to not be so scared of making eye contact?
Eye contact is huge. When you think about it, so many of us are still doing a lot of virtual meetings.
Right.
One of the things that being on camera does is it sort of amplifies what we are doing well and what we're not doing well. And it shows in, say, our Zoom calls. And so, being really aware of your presence, one of the things that having great eye contact can showcase is I'm really aware of my environment. I'm very focused on my audience. Even if I cannot physically see them myself, you know where that camera is. You understand that you are crafting a persona that is very real to your audience, no matter how far away they are.
That's really cool. I even think about it from a virtual perspective too, how eye contact can still play a big role. All right, so last question. Do you have a favorite or best example of a success story just from the past years of training and implementing coaching?
Yeah. Something I'm doing right now that it's going so well. I'm doing skills labs, sales skills labs. And what I'm doing is I make a short course, and that's pre-work, all right? So they take the pre-work course sometime during the week. On Friday, we hold the skills lab. It's about a 1-hour session. It's a guided, interactive workshop. We focus on breakouts, we focus on Q&A, but none of it is new instructional delivery because that was handled in the pre-work course. Then at the end, after we've worked on everything together, they submit a coaching challenge that shows their own individual achievement and grasp of what we've been talking about for now a week.
All right, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Any last words to the camera?
I would simply say again, just because you trained doesn't mean they learned.
Exactly. All right, thank you very much.